All right, let's get this started. Hello, everybody. Good morning from the Pacific West Coast. Good just afternoon from the U.S. East Coast. Good evening from Italy, and good ungodly hour 0 dark 30 down in Australia. So it's great to be here. This is Lars Light from the SOMM Journal. We're here wanting to thank our partners at SOMMCon, National Geographic Publishing and their new Sotheby's Wine Encyclopedia, and of course, as I said, SOMM Journal and the Tasting Panel magazine. And with us today is Meredith May, our publisher and editor-in-chief. Hello, Meredith. Good morning to you. Great. So we're here to talk about luxury wines. And if you can see on my background, I even, just to help you out a little bit, I don't think anybody needs too much help dealing with what the definition of luxury is. But I did think that it would be fun to take a quick look at it. And I'm sorry, I'm just having a little technical difficulty. Luxury is something that can be defined in many different ways. But we thought it would be fun to talk about luxury as it applies to these sites and the wines that they give us. When we say luxury wines, we're probably talking about wines that make our experiences a little bit more special, wines that are a little bit more rarefied, so it becomes a luxury to enjoy them. But what makes them the true luxury is that these very rare, special plots of Earth, planet Earth, that they come from. So bringing us home back again on the Southern Hemisphere is Christian Wiley, Managing Director of Bodega Garzón from Uruguay, here to talk to us about his Balasto, a wonderful luxury wine. Christian, as he mentioned before, is originally from Chile, studied at UC Davis. So every time I have Christian on a webinar, it amazes me how many languages he can speak and winemakers he knows. He's always got a connection. He's the, I could almost call him the Kevin Bacon of the wine, the winemaking world. Everybody's got a connection to Christian. He found a great home in Uruguay with Garzón in terms of sustainability and in terms of unbridled luxury winemaking. So Christian, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much, Lars. Salud. It's been an incredible tour around the world. I'm thrilled to be sharing with friends and big, important producers, big brands with a ton of history. So thanks so much to Meredith for putting all this together, and obviously for all the help that Nat Geo will give us, presenting the wines around the world. Thanks very much for that intro. We'll go straight into the PowerPoint. I guess everybody's a little bit tired of this, but it's sharing. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Uruguay. You obviously probably have not even heard about this country, but it is a tiny country, smaller than the island of England, that it's between Uruguay is between Argentina and Brazil, between two mammoths. I'll go to the map. Hang on, the Nat Geo followers. But what you're looking at in this photo is just about 20% of the winery, and then the vineyards. And in the horizon is actually the Atlantic Ocean. So having said all that, it's important. Okay, it's not changing the slide. There we go. There we go. It's important for everybody to know where we are. It's latitude south, premium wine belt of the Southern Hemisphere, Peumo, as well as Barossa. We are in latitude 34.5, more or less, south, so the same exact premium wine belt, New World wine. However, we are the only one that has 100% exposure to the Atlantic Ocean. We are what we refer to as well as a cool climate, like Willamette. We're only located this is within Uruguay, within Uruguay. We're on the east towards the Atlantic. The classic wine growing regions from Uruguay are around the capital, as usual, Canelones and Colonia. But we are basically a new terroir of the 21st century. Only 10 miles as a crow flies into the Atlantic Ocean, facing due south. If that crow can fly another 4,000 miles, it's in Antarctica. So we get very cool breezes coming in, and that's refreshing. It's super important. But it's also a little bit personal for me. If you look at this slide, the circle on the bottom is called Punta del Este. It's like the dream place to come and basically hang out with beautiful people in South America. I was invited here for a rugby sevens and met the love of my life. So this is why I am here in Uruguay. However, it gets even better, and the hot spot, the hippie chic place today, it's called Jose Ignacio, the other little circle. And that's a place where, you know, you get people like Zuckerberg or George Clooney or royalty hang out around New Year's. And we're only 10 miles away from that. So it's a fantastic place in the world with top gastronomy. Garzón was developed by the Bulgheroni family, is the wealthiest gentleman in the region. And in basically this millennium, he has invested over $1 billion in the wine industry. I'll tell you about that on the luxury side of Garzón in a second. So why Garzón? Here is the end result, but this is basically an experiment. This was Mr. Bulgheroni bought this hill for windmills. And his wife said, no, don't spoil the view. And he had to figure out what to do. And he called a few of the top winemakers around the world, hit it off really well with Alberto Antonini, El Dottore, Capo di Tutti for me, which is a pleasure to work with him. And all of a sudden, Alberto said, wow, this place has incredible biodiversity. It's like a synonym of a top terroir potential. It's a boulder of granite rock. It's the oldest granite in the planet. And you have the same latitude south of all the premium wine growing regions. And it's a cool climate faced from the Atlantic. So he said, let's do a little trial. And this is the trial. Only 1,500 plots. It's a net surface 500 acres or 250 hectares para mi amigo Marcio acá. And it is an experiment. It's like a CAT scan of my brain, but I'm not that crazy. It's basically 20 different grape varieties on the slopes facing north, mostly Tannat, Cabernet Franc, Marcellan. Those are the hillsides that can ripen reds. On the slope facing south, we have white grape varieties like Alvarinho. This is pretty similar to Rias Baixas in the sense that we have a lot of rainfall. We have actually more rainfall than Bordeaux, more than 1,000 millimeters, but I still have some hair. The guy that's doing the work in the vineyard and the winery, they've gone bald like a decade ago. But it's very, very extreme winemaking with a ton of personality. But because of all this combination, the wines are more European in style. We strive for balance, for elegance, very nice, high natural acidity, and just wines that are more, you know, the typicity of the grapes is more similar to what you find in the best appellations of Europe. This is the rock. This is what we called balasto. Balasto is meteorized granite, and it's actually the name of the wine I'll be talking to. So for those of you that are exhausted following all this amount of information, we try to keep it simple. Garzón is the name of the place. Balasto is the name of the rock. It's a 3 billion year old granite. It's the rock, the mother rock that broke with Pangea. So you find it basically from Nigeria to Angola in South Africa. Wow. And you find it from Rio de Janeiro to Punta del Este on the other side. That's where the rock comes from. The magic of this granite being so old is that meteorizes or degrades very easily. You touch it and it breaks, and we're really forcing the vines to go down and feed from the roots. Winemaking philosophy with Alberto Antonini, it's all about expressing the place. He doesn't even want to be mentioned. And the guys that work here are all super humble. And part of the 5 no-nos is we don't really want you to feel the winemaker. We don't want to overripe the grapes, so not too much alcohol. We don't want to over extract. We don't want to over oak. And we definitely want to be as sustainable as possible. We ferment in these tulips, which are an improvement of the Cheval Blanc Tronco Conics. You can top load. The cooling jacket is inside the wall, so we don't actually have any thermal shock. We don't kill the native yeast. Everything here is done with Garzón proper yeast. And it's an amazing place to make fine wines. The wine today, Balasto, is the only one from Uruguay and the third out of South America to make it the Place de Bordeaux. Without the helps of any Europeans, we got into the party. Now we have to dance. This is we're on the fourth harvest, fourth vintage. We'll be releasing in the Place de Bordeaux, the Balasto 2018, and all of this basically explains why we have such good reception. It's a wine that it's in the mid to high 90s by pretty much all of the different opinion leaders. Really beloved friend that passed away recently, Stephen Spurrier, was here last January 2020. And he wrote on a very important publication that a lot of producers, it takes more than a generation to have an iconic status. And Garzón has achieved it in under a decade. Balasto is a assemblage, a meritage of 5 great varieties. In the case of 2017, is 50% Tanat, 40% Cab Franc, 5% Merlot, 5% Marcelin. We had rain at the end of the harvest, so the Petit Verdot didn't make it into Balasto 17. Now, this is all about luxury, remarkable sites. Incredible biodiversity, super hippie chic destination. We have a restaurant on the premises that is directed by Francis Malman, a celebrity chef. According to the Cantor magazine, is the #1 restaurant in a winery in the world. So wow. Whenever it's possible, come and see us, come and visit us. And we also have, apart from all the voltage and the energy out of this terroir, we have a golf course. It's the only PGA Tour preferred golf course outside the USA. It's part of the Garzón Club. And if Mr. Bulgaroni invites you to the club, you can also make wines here and in all these other properties in Chianti Classico, in Montalcino, in Napa, in Bordeaux, and Greenock, in Barossa. So this is I guess, the new game in town. Someday we'll be as famous as all the other guys, but salud. Thank you so much. I think I overdid it, but cheers.
Oh, you were perfect, Christian. Thank you. Thank you very much.